Mercedes just halted all-electric vehicle production. This decision comes despite a recent report by Bloomberg New Energy Finance predicting EV sales to account for 57% of the global market by 2040. So, what's the disconnect? Is the EV revolution stalling? Are gas guzzlers making a comeback? Let's get into the details. So, Mercedes CEO has made a jaw-dropping announcement. The company is stopping the production of electric vehicles and going back to making cars with internal combustion engines, ICEs. This has stunned everyone in the auto industry, especially since Mercedes had promised to phase out gas-powered vehicles by 2030. Now it looks like they're doing a complete U-turn. EV prices have dropped by 30%, which signals a big slump in the EV market. Mercedes-Benz is adjusting its expectations for electrified vehicle sales, forecasting that hybrids and electric cars will make up about 50% of its total sales by 2030. This target is 5 years later than their original 2021 prediction, which aimed to reach the 50% mark by 2025, primarily with all-electric vehicles. Automakers and their suppliers have been heavily investing in the future of electric vehicles, banking on a significant rise in demand. However, this capacity and technological development investment has outpaced the actual demand for EVs, leading many car manufacturers, including Mercedes, to reevaluate their production strategies. Towards the end of last year, CEO Ola Källenius noted that even in Europe, where EV adoption is relatively strong, it's unlikely that sales will be entirely electric by 2030. Currently, battery-powered cars make up only 11% of total sales in Europe, which rises to 19% when hybrids are included. Källenius emphasized that Mercedes-Benz wants to assure customers and investors that the company remains well prepared to continue producing combustion engine vehicles. They are committed to updating and refining this technology well into the next decade. He mentioned that with their planned updates, it will be as if Mercedes has an entirely new lineup by 2027 that will sustain the brand well into the 2030s. Mercedes-Benz has clarified that its move towards electric vehicles will be guided by what customers want and the market dictates. They've said, customers and market conditions will set the pace of the transformation. It means they're planning to offer fully electric cars and hybrids for many years, well into the 2030s. Even in Europe, where electric vehicle sales are picking up faster than North America, Mercedes-Benz doesn't expect to switch entirely to EVs anytime soon. CEO Ola Källenius told Reuters, "It's not going to be 100% in 2030, obviously, from the whole European market, but probably from the Mercedes side as well." Källenius' comments are part of a growing trend among auto executives who are more cautious about the all-electric future. Tesla's Elon Musk recently warned about slower sales growth in 2024. Companies like Rivian and Lucid expect flat production this year, focusing solely on electric vehicles. Meanwhile, GM and Ford have delayed factory projects or scrapped some EV models. Back in 2021, Mercedes-Benz was at the forefront of the electric vehicle revolution, emphatically declaring that by 2025, half of their fleet would be plug-in hybrids or fully electric. This ambitious goal set them apart as leaders in the push towards electrification. However, as market realities set in, even the most committed companies reevaluate their timelines. Despite technological advancements and increased investment in electric vehicles, consumer adoption and market readiness are proving slower than anticipated. Some say that Mercedes-Benz is losing interest in EVs altogether. Why is it so? A few years ago, governments worldwide imposed strict regulations, pushing all car manufacturers to switch to electric vehicles or face hefty fines. Mercedes was quick to jump on the EV bandwagon, aiming to be a leader in the market. But despite their efforts, the sales numbers paint a different picture. In 2023, only a tiny portion of Mercedes' total sales were electric vehicles, showing they face significant challenges in the EV market. Mercedes-Benz had also laid out an ambitious 2039 plan, aiming for a complete switch to all-electric vehicles when the market conditions allowed. It was a bold vision, but now they are hitting the brakes. In their recent discussions with investors, Mercedes-Benz has adopted a more cautious tone. By the late 2020s, they foresee that around 50% of their vehicles will be hybrids or electric, but only if the market conditions are favorable. In a recent interview, Ola Källenius, the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, revealed some telling insights. He candidly mentioned that traditional gas-powered vehicles are the only ones generating significant profits. On the other hand, electric vehicles, EVs, are losing money, primarily due to low sales volumes. According to Källenius, EVs could take at least another decade to become reasonably priced or even close to the cost of gas-powered vehicles. Let's examine the numbers to better understand. In 2023, Mercedes-Benz sold 43,000 plug-in hybrid vehicles, a 20.5% increase from the previous year. However, sales of fully electric vehicles, EVs, dropped by 12.5%, while gas-powered car sales shot up by 61.3%. Electric vehicles aren't winning the popularity contest at Mercedes right now. The whole auto industry is in a bind. The coming years, especially 2025, are expected to be challenging due to slow economic growth, ongoing supply chain issues, and significant trade tensions between the US, China, and the EU. Mercedes-Benz is gearing up for some rough waters, anticipating a dip in sales during the first quarter. Despite all the high-tech equipment and research they're pouring money into, they're struggling with component shortages. These shortages, particularly with the BCH 48-volt systems, are causing production delays. They're running a two-leg race with one leg tied up. The supply chain issues are a real thorn in their side, making it hard to keep up with demand and meet their ambitious production schedules. This struggle is not unique to Mercedes. Many automakers feel the squeeze. Mercedes has introduced the MMA platform, a versatile foundation that accommodates traditional combustion engines and electric vehicles. Expected to roll out later in 2024, this platform will underpin several exciting models, including the CLA, GLB, and the compact G-Wagon. Despite these advancements, Mercedes is pulling back from its all-electric ambitions due to a looming threat from China. If you thought Mercedes was the only one making adjustments, think again. Other automakers are also feeling the heat. Ford, for example, had a rough start to the year with January sales. They've responded by slashing prices on the Mustang Mach-E by up to $88,000 and scaling back production of the F-150 Lightning. It's a surprising move, especially given the initial buzz around these electric trucks, but the market isn't reacting as expected, prompting these strategic shifts. Moreover, the Biden administration seems to be rethinking its ambitious plans for electric vehicles. There's talk of easing the pressure they've been putting on automakers to ramp up their EV production. They're hitting the brakes and reconsidering their timeline, possibly pushing those goals beyond 2030. And you know what's eye-opening? At the start of 2023, around 7% of new cars hitting the road were electric. That's a far cry from the 67% target they were aiming for by 2032. It's making everyone wonder if they were too optimistic about the electric revolution. But wait, there's more. Honda just threw a curveball by pulling the plug on a massive $5 billion plan to produce electric vehicles. They were teaming up with General Motors to produce affordable EVs under $30,000 using GM's fancy Ultium battery technology. But with the EV market taking a nosedive, they decided it was too risky to dive in headfirst. Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, GM, has weighed in on the cost of electric vehicles, stating that they won't be able to bring down the price tag anytime soon. Meanwhile, there's some groundbreaking news brewing over in the BMW camp. BMW, Mercedes' main competitor, is making waves with its bold move into hydrogen-powered vehicles. That's right, hydrogen. BMW's CEO, Oliver Zipse, is gearing up to go all in on hydrogen by 2025. They believe that hydrogen engines will shake up the transportation game globally. Hydrogen fuel cell cars with an 800-mile range. That's like driving from one end of California to the other and back again without stopping for a refill. Companies like Tesla and Chinese giant B dominate the scene, leaving little room for others to shine. Mercedes wants to keep its luxury image intact without getting dragged into a pricing war with these heavy hitters. And then there's the curveball from China. an export ban on rare earth minerals. These minerals are like gold dust for EV batteries, and with the ban in place, it's becoming a real headache for local automakers. Meanwhile, Chinese companies like B can still get their hands on these minerals, giving them a massive advantage in offering cheaper EVs. It's like playing a game with one hand tied behind your back. But wait, there's more. Remember when EVs were supposed to be the picture of reliability? Turns out they've got their own set of problems. Major players in the EV game have had to issue recalls due to autopilot malfunctions and other technical issues. Even Tesla had to call back over 1 million vehicles. Talk about a reality check. And let's not forget the environmental side of things. Mining the raw minerals needed for EV batteries comes with risks, like mining accidents and water pollution. It's not just about going green. Severe ethical and environmental concerns must be considered. So, Mercedes is hitting the brakes on its EV dreams and returning to the drawing board. They're trying to navigate this wild landscape while keeping their reputation for quality and innovation intact. It's a tough road ahead, but that's the name of the game in the ever-evolving world of automotive technology. So that's all for today's video. Share your thoughts on this in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe.